What is going on, guys? My name is Douglas and I am a local treasure hunter, thrift and pawn arbitrager. Basically, I go around to every pawn shop and thrift store that I can locate and I buy different things to arbitrage them in different market spaces where then I can in turn make a profit. Now today, something special that we got our hands on is a pair of Yeezy V2 Clays that released back in 2019. I'm going to be comparing those to a pair of Yeezy Beluga V2s that dropped in 2021. These are also not genuine. So I was a little skeptical when I picked these up. These are the shoes right here. They are pre-owned. They are used, as you can see. They've got some wear on the bottom, but pretty much the entire shoe all around looks pretty much fine. I would say they're in exceptional condition, considering what I paid. So I picked these up in a thrift store, believe it or not. These were in a thrift store behind the counter. I was almost like about a week when I first saw them. They were sitting there and I was contemplating picking them up, but at the time, I'm not sure if this is the right one, but on this one here, they were actually listed for $124. And I was a little skeptical about paying that much, not knowing if they were real or not. So I didn't buy them. A week later, we actually went back to the same thrift store and they were still sitting on the shelf. And I was like, well, let's actually see what the color of the day is, because most thrift shops, just like Goodwills and pawn shops alike, will usually run specials on certain colors or certain items that have been sitting around the shop for a little too long. Well, apparently these were on sale. Believe it or not, they were a blue tag. They were on sale and I was able to pick these up for half price. So I got these Yeezys for $60. And I must say I was very excited to take a risk on these, considering that, you know, I'm not a sneakerhead by any means, or I would say like obsessed with sneakers. So today we're just going to kind of look at the shoes, compare them, and kind of see what's going on here between the two. Now, as you can see, the Clays have this almost transparent, translucent kind of fading going on here between the pinks into this like cream colored bottom here. And apparently this is a part where a lot of fakes get wrong. They don't actually get this correct. Also, this piece right here, they kind of fail with the placement on. On this little strip here on the fakes is actually very much shorter. So it actually doesn't extend as far out here. Another thing on the fakes is on the little toe here, this is usually a little more transparent, much like this part here of the shoe, whereas this has a little more of a darker color to it. So that's another thing. Now, the tag on the inside, that is something that more of the experts like have a keen eye to kind of look at the fonts on those, and specifically the marketplace of where they originated from. So these, when we ran through check, actually came up authentic, and they were actually from the Canadian market space. One way you can tell is because the tag doesn't state the male verbiage on the actual tag. So if we look at, these are the fake Belugas. One way you can actually tell that these are fake, if you know these well enough, you'll actually know that the print here actually touches the stitching here in the center. This actually comes all the way across, whereas this kind of just comes straight here. It's not quite right. Also, notice on this side, whereas like this darker tone here doesn't quite sit where it's supposed to. So that's another thing. Also, you can also tell, I've noticed with almost all Yeezys, they're more like a car, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, if you will. This profile here is very much more like slim. So you can see like on these, But bring these up, you'll see how like they more come down, they're more like slim, almost like a crocodile mouth almost, I guess. That's a good reference. Anyways, like on these, you don't get that. It's just like really fat, like chunky. And you can also tell like right here, whereas like this right here just kind of looks off. It doesn't look the same. You know, it's very similar, but this one just, the lines are just more jagged. It's not quite as flush, whereas this one is more, the arc is more flush, kind of looks more well drawn, whereas this is more mechanical. So that's one way that you can actually, it's easier. I'm telling you, it's much easier to tell the difference between the sneakers if you have a fake pair. You can kind of really compare the differences, because once you know a very good fake, you can kind of tell a real one when you're starting to see some of the differences, when one just appears more realistic than the realistic one you thought was real. And this is probably as good as it's going to get in the fake world, besides some of the discrepancies in the design if you don't catch those. But also, you can see these three, these are the marks. These are they kind of glow, if you will, but they're green, and they're not supposed to be green. They're supposed to be gray. So that's another reason. I've also seen here in the bottom where like this is like the foam here in the bottom is not as defined, whereas on the real ones it's more defined, as you can see. And also there's more of these little circular things with the 3 lines in it. I don't really know how to describe this, but that's the most I can see. Now, for looking at this little insert here, you could definitely tell that the Adidas is much more crisp on the real one than on the fake one, whereas like the color on this is much more white and this is more like dulled out, and you can barely, like the embossment of the Adidas is not quite as defined as the fake one here. So you can kind of see the difference here. So, and then this is the reverse side here, so you can kind of see. On this side, you can't really tell. Well, I mean, it looks like the font's a little bigger on the fake one than on the real one here. So that's kind of 2 things that you can kind of note here. And then on the inside too, in the stitch work, you can tell on the real ones, there's a lot more stitching going on here. And then on the fake, it's more like, yes, they're unified, but there's less of them. So that's one way. So, and all in all, a $60 pair of Yeezy Clays in size 12. $60. This is probably one of the best snags that I've had here recently. I have a few more for some upcoming videos that I have. I'm gonna be showcasing a lot of different things, not just shoes. But all in all, easy 150 right here. Easy $100 profit on a pair of $60 sneakers, $60 investment. Arbitrage these. I have them listed currently on eBay. So just stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one. Follow and subscribe for more, and see what else I come up with. See you on the next one, guys.